Hey there, good day, ... I'm at the Cummings property, and it's cool. It's a neat environment. You have a ton of parking here as you pull up, which is great. You could park jet skis in here or in the garage. You could have 3-4 families here if you wanted to. So you got a ton of parking. You're at the end of the cul-de-sac, really. So you've got 2 houses past you, and then a neighbor across the street. And it's kind of a resorty looking neighborhood as you come in. Older homes, but some have been knocked down and upgraded, like the guy that's next door. So that guy next door is like 3,500 square feet, and pretty elevated, newer, all that jazz. So they've done a cool job with the new siding that they put on. So this is a Trex decking. So it'll last forever. It's supposed to be a 75-year product. So it's clean and neat, and will take the sun and take the water and the rain and all that jazz. So you've got nice landscaping out front. Nothing major. Stuff's pretty low maintenance by and large. They put some new mulch out here. It does take a little bit of attention, but your lawn guy will come do that. And this house has been a rental over the years. So it's lived in a little bit hard, but they've done some nice things, like I said, as the siding, this newer railing that goes up the stairs with the wires, what have you. It's kind of cool. This is a Trex decking as well. The underbelly to the decking is always wood, because this Trex is not sturdy enough to turn sideways, and it has a tendency to bend a little bit if you try to do it the other way. So it's the underbelly that needs to be fortified and or rebuilt from time to time. This looks fine, but just kind of educating you as to kind of what happens and takes place here. So from the upper deck, this is kind of front deck. This is kind of what you're looking at as you kind of look around the street. And yeah, so we're gonna head in. So this is a 3-bedroom. 2,500 square feet. It's wide open. I couldn't find some of the light switches, so forgive me if it seems a little dark, but I think it's okay. But you walk in, and it's a nice big great room. You've got a vaulted ceiling kind of in the middle. So I'm in the foyer, and the ceiling's about 8.5 feet here. But the vaulted, where the fan is, probably goes to 10, maybe 10.5, but it allows the light to flow through. Again, most of the lights aren't on in the house, so it's nice and, light and bright and feels good. One of the things I found is there's a couple of different kinds of flooring as you kind of roam through. So that's one thing that kind of pointed me at it's a rental, and some of the things that they've updated, they've done nicely. And then there's some things that still need to be done. I don't think anything crazy, and I think there's some sweat equity that could kind of work out and take place, but still some stuff that needs to be done. So this area is intended to be the dining room, just adjacent to the kitchen. So this room kind of across the floor is probably 16 or 17 feet. So you could put a big old table there if you wanted to, or you could put, a secondary kind of family room if you wanted, or you could make that the family room where you put the TV there and a couch kind of, in that bay window and along here. There's some options there. Alternatively, the family room is probably set to be there next to the fireplace, with the cable outlet kind of on that top switch, and kind of fits in there. Couches and seating there is a little bit tricky and funny, but again, this wide open space allows you to do a couple different things. And then this area over here is also like a eat-in kitchen area. Again, depending on what you have or what you needed, you could certainly do a longer table there, because from the edge of that cabinet to the door is probably 14 feet or so. You just have this fireplace bump out that just takes a little bit of room away from where some seating might be. But if you had a bench on this side of the table and then chairs maybe on this side of the table, that would work. Not sure. Or honestly, if you're going to do any renovation, not that you need it day one, but just shrink that fireplace down. The surround around there does not need to be that big. It's all frame, so and would open up this space a little bit differently. Kitchen's big. It's got all kinds of storage and cabinets and what have you. You got cabinets there under the cooktop. storage under the front, under the prep sink. Then you have a regular, dish sink, and kind of a pantry cabinets kind of end capping both sides. So you got plenty of storage and, places for dishes and pots and pans and crock pots and all that stuff. You've got a 4-burner Gen Air situation here with a downdraft system. So this sucks the, fumes down through the cabinet out the side of the house. You've got an industrial looking GE profile refrigerator. It's oversized, so just replacing that whenever it has to be replaced. You'd either have to frame it back in with a regular refrigerator or buy another industrial, Sub-Zero or GE profile or something that fit that. So just know that in advance. It looks to be okay, but just know that that's what you got in advance. You have this also 4-burner with a double oven, just a standard GE appliance package here. Nothing crazy, nothing major, but you've got some tumbled stone backsplash there that color-wise goes nicely with the granite, and then it just kind of offsets nicely versus the white shaker cabinets. All right. Again, a GE dishwasher here, obviously all stainless steel. And so as you come to the back, there's a small screened-in patio right there, which is off the master. And then you have impact windows to the back of the house and that overlook the canal. The canal does have 2 bridges. So if you did a boat, you would need something that was not taller than 6.5 feet tall. So a pontoon boat is great, or like a hurricane deck boat would be great, that you could put the T-top, or not the T-top, but the bimini top, it's called. You could put it up and down, so you could get in and out at any tide. Jet skis are fine, no problem, easy to do. And then there's a boat lift downstairs that you could do, either jet ski or boat, or there's room to put a floating dock for jet skis should you want to do that. And then the boat lift would keep the boat. So, again, could be family room, could be dining room. You've just got some options either way, which is pretty great. And again, these vaulted ceilings, the blinds even closed there up front, and it's still nice and light and bright, and I don't feel like I need lights. And then that bank of windows to the back is about 8 feet. And so, again, it just allows light to kind of come through here. So perspective, that's going to be the master. We're going to head in there momentarily, and in we go. So the master's to the right-hand side and totally opposite side of the other bedrooms. This is a pretty big room. You've got 2 reach-in closets, but as you go across the floor span here, that's about 16 feet. I'd say it's probably 4 feet on each side of the window, and then the window's probably a 7-footer. I don't think it's quite 8. So you're 15 or 16 feet across, and then this way you're a little longer, probably 18 or 20. So the bed would go right there on the wall, and outlets for bedside tables and what have you. Again, impact windows. This set of sliders has not been replaced, so it's not dual pane and it's not impact. So that's something you would have to address if the storm comes, securing this space. You get to walk right out the slider out to this screened-in patio. So that patio is about 16 or 17 feet this direction, and it's about 8 or 10 feet deep this way. Little doggy door and then an additional door, but that's screened, which is nice for sunset when the bugs come out at sunset for 15 or 20 minutes. You have a retreat, or you get to put a dining room table out here and you can eat dinner sitting in the patio, and then outside you get to hang out and lounge and do all that. So we'll go outside in just a minute, but master bedroom, the paint seems fine. Baseboards are kind of a mid-grade. They're kind of like a 4-inch, not a 5.5, but also not the 3-inch that people did. Bathrooms, part of the bathroom was done over the course of some time, so you can see this granite. I don't know that picture's showing the blue that's in that granite, but it's a cool blue, and they're trying to tie in this tile floor. Tile's probably been here for some years because it's looks like it was what was popular in the 80s. But then this granite, I think they just tried to put in the nautical theme and, you know, kind of blend that or harmonize that a little bit with the floor. So I do also think that the tile was laid over the top of other tile because there's just that little lip and the transition doesn't quite get it there. So that being said, that's what I got. So this depth wise is probably 8 feet. That's probably an 8-foot vanity. And you've got lots of cabinets and, you know, drawers and all those things. So plenty of room for storage. It's got this nice surround. So you've got some uplights there or downlights. There we go. So they did some nice things with that. It's real wood. So if you ever wanted to paint it and change the colors, wanted that to turn white, easy, nothing to it. You've got a bay window here. In the bathroom, a little bit of storage underneath there should you need to put, I don't know, towels or what have you, supplies in there. And then you have the glass block walls, both one for the potty and one for the shower. There's the toilet, a gray toilet. And then this shower, walk-in shower. The walk-in shower is probably 6 feet this direction, and it's 3 feet, 3.5 feet wide maybe. You've got a little, I don't know, bench seat in there, leg shaving station, if you will. You've got dual heads, which is fantastic. They're tall enough because I'm 6'2", and that one I would have clearance under the right-hand one there. The left-hand one maybe not, but still fine. And they plumbed it right where you don't have to be standing in the cold water to make that work and make that go. So that's the shower. And again, that blue, this is blue in this tile here. So I think all that was kind of intended to kind of harmonize with the blue tile in the floor. Not that the tile is not great, and it's in good shape. Just wanted to make sure that, you know, you could kind of see that coloration in here. So this is the master and master bath. And again, it looks out through the front door. So, you know, these blinds kind of manage it. Should you need to. These are impact windows and had been replaced somewhere along the way. So, all right, so back through the master and out. And again, for perspective, you go out through the master. The front door is just to the front. That's going to be the family room or dining room, depending. Kitchen, right? Other eat-in area over there. The kitchen does have this center island, so you could probably fit 4 bar stools there. It's probably a 10-foot stretch. So again, just, you know, lots of seating, you know, depending on how many families are here or how you guys work it all out, that definitely works. So you come down this hallway and you have bedroom number 2. Bedroom number 2 is about a 12 by 12 space, give or take. Sounds about right. As I mentioned, there's a couple different floorings throughout the house. This flooring's just kind of been beat up a little bit, and, you know, I don't know if this is a laminate that I'm standing on. And so it's, you know, this room has been lived in a little bit harder. You know, you got some dings and stuffs, and, you know, whoever the last folks moved out were, it just didn't kind of repaint or touch up or fix, but you can see some of the stuff in here. Minor, you know, it's all cosmetic, nothing really to it, but just kind of lived in hard. A safe might have been mounted there actually and painted around, kind of thing. So this is a gray color, kind of a medium gray, very comfortable and easy. There's a little bit of it looks like a piece of water damage there in the ceiling. Don't know what that is because we have a metal roof here, and metal roofs generally have a 40-year lifespan. And I'm sure that metal roof is not 40 years old. So that would be something that would have to be addressed in an inspection. Laundry room here, washer and dryer and hot water heater. Hot water heaters here because it's easy to get to, easy to manage, easy to replace. It looks newer-ish. It's probably 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, something like that. Actually, not newer-ish, but, you know, mid to late life. One thing I'm worried about is that connection there. Again, something that's addressed in an inspection. That connection looks super clean, and then that one does not. So, don't know, but nonetheless, the breaker boxes are in here. So you probably, if you have a sub panel, that sub panel may be for the downstairs, and then this is the main panel. I don't know. It doesn't look like this panel has ever been replaced, but again, something addressed in an inspection or in an offer. Replace the panel if need be. So, all right. Dryer vents to the outside. Washer looks newer. Dryer looks newer-ish. So nice to have already in place, ready to go. Then down the hallway, you have closet. So kind of combo linen closet, guest closet, coat closet, game storage, whatever you wanted to do. And then into the bathroom. It's like a fiberglass vanity, kind of looks like marble. It's nice, it's fine. This is a Formica box for cabinets. Again, totally fine. And then you've got tile floor. It's kind of a bluish, grayish hue. I think that shows it actually okay from what I can tell. There's one little crack. It doesn't look crazy major, but I don't know if you can see it in there. There it is. One little crack that goes across that tile alone. It doesn't stretch into other tiles, so I don't see it as a settlement issue or change. And then this tile, it's on the diagonal, and it's a tumbled, edge looking tile, and it's fine. It's good, gray color, white tub. It's probably the original tub, and they redid the surround around it. Looks good. Again, impact windows, and all is good. So again, just lived in a little bit hard, a few things, minor, again, just things, talking points for, an offer or repairs or a reduced price or things like that. And then this bedroom is a little smaller than the other. This bedroom is probably a 10 by 11, something like that. Nice though, you got a couple of windows, so you've got some nice natural light. This one looks over the back of the house, and so you've got a cool water view here. I was out at the dock just a little bit ago as I first got here and just familiarizing myself, and saw a herd of sheep's head down in the dock. So fishing off the back of the dock is probably fun and easy. And you've got a pretty standard closet. It looks like the wire rack thing pulled out. So again, just lived in kind of hard at times. Again, nothing that can't be fixed or repaired, but just a little hard, a little tough. All right, and so now we go back down the hallway. You have here is the AC. AC's newer. I'll have to check on the age of that, but it's definitely not more than about 5 years old. Bryant's good quality. It stands up really well here in Florida. And yeah, so we're going to continue. We're going to go outside. And again, lots of space here, lots of room. You could add cabinets, shelving, all kinds of stuff. Great place for a dining room table. Again, so from perspective, that I just walked out of the kitchen, and then I'm looking into the master bedroom now. Okay, so again, this is all screened in. They did a cool job with kind of a tongue and groove ceiling in here, so it's just very coastal living, coastal feel. And then outside we go. So this door is got a glass bottom, and it can be a glass top, but allowing the breeze to cross through here makes it really more enjoyable. And then this outside upstairs deck, also with a Trex decking, is huge, right? So lots of seating, chase lounges, whatever. And this will have sun for the better part of the day. So across from there, across the middle part of the deck, that's angles there a little bit, so it shortens it by about 6 feet. But this broader part of the deck is probably 20 or 22 feet long, something like that. And then so from the stairs, from that edge across, is probably another 15 or 16. So it's a really good sized deck. You can, again, have seating out here, chase lounges, you can have an umbrella, You can have a barbecue grill out here. You can have, whatever, and keep it away from the house, keep the smoke away from the house, and enjoy this view and enjoy the little bit of a breeze that's out here, which is also pretty nice. And again, looking back over the house, you get to see the metal roof, all the impact windows, the newer siding that has been put in, all that is good stuff. This railing is totally safe for kids, puppies, any of that stuff, because the railing's only about a 4 inch spacer, give or take. And so even if you had a small dog, that's not an issue. All right, and this siding is really cool. It comes in, so it's a 3-section panel, and so they got installed there. It looks like there's a scratch here. I'm not sure if, and somebody tried to touch up the paint or the color or what have you. I'd venture to say that during a storm, a big branch kind of hit the side of the house and scratched it or drug it or something. That's my guess. I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like it interfered with the integrity of the panels themselves. So come downstairs. Then you have the pool. Nice size pool. It's got a Pebble Tech finish. The finish itself looks like it's in a pretty good shape. Great for about 6 or 8 floating floaties, or let the kids go. I'm sure that has a fountain in it that bubbles over and adds some nice white noise and relaxation. And then you have so this pool deck from corner, the pavers to the pavers, is probably 32 or 3 feet. And then so you've just got some pavered section around. Not really seating on the pavers, I wouldn't say, but you have a ton of seating in this Trex deck that's underneath the upstairs deck. Now, one thing to be aware of is this is not dry, because you have, water would pass through. There's ways to kind of waterproof it, or not waterproof it necessarily, but divert water. So if you wanted to sit down here, if it happened to be raining, you can do that. But it looks like it's built well, and it's got the hurricane straps and all those things. So that looks all good. And then you've got a little bed down here, and then a flower bed, that is. And then it's nice because you have a little bit of room from house to house. On this side, from the edge of the house to the edge there, you're looking at about 20 feet. You've got this little walkway. You could do a pergola out here. You could do a fire pit out here. There's all kinds of stuff that you could, do your best to make use of this space. There is a wall that connects the side of the house to this gate. The wall's taken a little bit of wear. I can't tell if that's structural or if that's just, actually it's not structural because it's wood frame in there. You see the 2x4? So it's wood frame, so that's just the stucco. So to repair that, a stucco repair, or to put the siding up on that would be easy. And then you have a nice looking fence down the rest of the property line. Some of it's newer, and it's all newer, but that section from that post to the edge is like new. So it looks like they did that when they remulched in here, and these are newer plants. These palms are newer, so it looks like that was kind of done at that time. So again, you've got a nice big space under here. Again, you could put a grill here. There's lots of seating. This will be shaded pretty much all day, which is great. And then you do have another kind of patio storage on the other side of the house. It's got this pebble bottom, so you've got a smaller gate there. You could wheel back here like a one trailer jet ski, and you could store jet ski there. So if you had a couple cars to pull them with or whatever, you could leave the trailers here. It won't fit a double wide through there. You could get rid of part of this wall, or you could edit this wall and shrink it. I would have to assume it's wood frame like the other side, but you could manipulate that if you wanted it. But it's got a nice paver walkway. The walkway is 4 feet wide, so you could certainly maneuver a trailer, spinning it, kind of working it backwards, and work it right through here, and then store the jet skis on trailers back here, when you guys are out of town, and then drop them in the water and leave them in the water while you're here. So some cool options. AC, this is definitely just taking a little bit of salt water air. Just see a little bit of rust stains and what have you. So again, we'd have that tested in an inspection. But we know the storm was here, and we know that there had been water and what have you. So the disclosures say that there was no water in the house, which is likely because this is elevated. Our seawall here at the pool is higher than across the canal, which is awesome. But there might have been, it might have come from the other side of the street. It's hard to say. But the AC's here, just the salt air will do that to the AC. So then you have the underside patio. So this is under the kitchen as we're standing here. So this is super long tile floor. You could put all kinds of seating and furniture down there. Part of it's screened. I'm not sure where the rest of the screening is, but part of it's screened. If you wanted to screen in this, the rest of it, you could put in a screen from this section across. And then there's a little apartment down here. So you could use this and be very comfortable. You could have guests down here. The apartment probably needs a little bit different love than the upstairs, but totally doable. So we go in the apartment here. Interesting enough, you welcomed into the bathroom, but that's because it's the pool bath. So out of the pool, come potty, come shower, what have you, and then into the guest unit. And then the guest unit has currently a Murphy bed. So that's a double bed, Murphy bed, with a big piece of furniture. But that goes up, and then you have plenty of seating. And then this space, so that door goes out to the pool deck, refrigerator. It does not have a bunch of cabinets and microwave and burners and things like that. But, you could put bunk beds in here and put the kids in here, and, you could do, or different family downstairs. There's a lot that I think you could do with this space. So from that wall across the floor is 22, 3, 4 feet, somewhere in here. That wall from the edge of the refrigerator is 11 feet there. The wall on the front edge of the house, from wall to kind of split there, is 12 or 13 feet. And then that's another 12 or 13 feet there. So honestly, you could put a bed under the windows, under that AC. You could put another bed under that AC. You could move the fridge all the way across the floor to right inside the door. You could put another bed there, or bunk beds there. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you could do to work out on how to optimize this space. You could put a TV over there. I mean, you could do all kinds of things. There's no telling, how to best use this space. And then use it as a vacation rental, or just rent the downstairs, or what have you. But this has a window. So this downstairs is not part of the square footage and is not insurable or permitted. So know that in advance. If there was ever water to come in here, all this stuff has to get cleaned out and managed kind of on the download. Because FEMA will make you take it apart. But again, you're higher up than across the way. So according to the flood disclosure, there was not water here. Again, I do not know for certain because I was not here, but I don't see the damage to the drywall. I don't see a water line. I don't see, and it's certainly not new molding on the bottom baseboard. It is definitely not new, so that would have been noticed, and that would be a telltale. So that's this space down here. So lots of good here, lots of room to roam, and the neighborhood's unique just because it's a mix of older homes and newer homes and elevated homes versus single story like the one directly across and the one across the street on this side. But I reiterate that at some point some of these homes have been leveled and started over. The next door house was probably built in 2010, 11, 12 or newer, and it was a bigger house. It's beautiful. It's got nice tile roof and but just nice appointments and finishes. So anything that you do to enhance this house will not outpace the neighborhood, which is always important. But also being here at the end of the cul-de-sac, having, renters or things like that will, having that privacy will bring you a pretty penny. So now let's walk down to the dock. So you've got lots of seawall. You've probably got 50 feet, maybe 70 feet of seawall. So from the perspective, if you wanted to dock, jet skis, you could put 2 jet skis right here. See, they've got floating docks down there for their jet skis. And then you have the boat dock or the boat lift there. If you weren't going to do a boat at all and just wanted to turn that into a jet ski, you could double stack that side by side it, and put 2 bunks in there and have 2 jet skis live underneath the lift, which is great. So options are great. And so this is a Trex deck out here. This bench is made out of Trex as well. So it's sturdy, and right now it is kind of a medium tide. You can see the barnacles on the wall over there, so that's not high tide, but it's kind of a medium tide. And right now the water off the dock is probably 3.5 or 4 feet deep, and it's nice and clear right now. And I think it's an outgoing tide, just because it looks like the leaves and things are being drawn outward, just as I kind of look and watch it. So, this all looks to be in pretty good shape. Again, all this gets inspected, but you've got a nice cover. It's a canvas cover, so really durable, easy to take off, easy to power wash if you wanted to. If it gets blown off in the storm, you just order a new one. They have it on file, and they send you a new one, and you hop up there and replace it. And it's pretty easy to manage and handle and deal with and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's just really pretty out here right now. So if you wanted a paddleboard and things like that, you could do it right over the right off the dock. I don't know if you can see, but there's 2 little sheepshead fish right there. I can see them. So those are delicious. They eat shrimp and crabs, and since I like shrimp and crabs, I like to eat them too. But paddleboarding right here, and there's no boat traffic. You go right down to the end. It's like a cul-de-sac, and you kind of could paddleboard or kayak right out the other direction. So, again, super safe. And again, just perspective. You've got some older homes that have been here for a long time, but then you look down at the mega mansion down at the end of the street that, has upgraded and is upgrading the neighborhood and upgrading the values and all those things. So I'd say this home is a good middle value within the neighborhood. So that's what I got. Hopefully it's helpful. You'll have 100 questions, and that's great. You know where to find me. Give me a buzz, and we can talk through it. Talk soon.